Hello, everybody. I haven't been on in a while. I think since just before Samhain, or Samhain actually. And I've had a little regrouping of my own to do. I think we all have those moments. But I wanted to touch base. I didn't want you to think I forgot you, because I could never forget you. Sorry, my brain is kind of all over the place with everything I want to say. So much to say. I guess I'll start with her. I love you. I love you. I've been, like many of you, seeing and feeling and hearing so much, to the point of overwhelm and needing to retreat, cocoon, take care of self. And then those feelings of guilt sometimes hunker in and say, hey, you're not meeting people well. You're not there for them. They need you. And to that, I would say, if they had need, they would have contacted me. But yet there's always that part in me, my psyche, that always wants to ensure that I'm ahead of the curve and anticipating need and meeting need as it's needed. And I've since come out of that a little bit anyway. It's a work in progress. My desire to meet you well, to be met well, and to be sure that the interchange was beneficial. Because, I mean, all of our experiences, what we experience is what we take with us. And do we want to take a glitchy piece of information with us, or do we want to take this valid, fulfilling piece of information with us? And for some reason, because I have that notion, I felt that it was my responsibility to see that that was met well for you in anything with the meeting. To which I must say, no, it can't happen. And I do realize that we are all very human, and I am perfectly human. What goes under the category of human that strikes first and foremost to me is fallibility. But that's okay, because that's where we learn, right? In order to really, truly, fully be anything, we need to grasp and embrace the humanness, I guess. So yes, I love you all, and I continually hold space, and I try to give room and space for growth too. And I think me learning to back off a little and not be so overwhelming, or not be so overly ready, will allow that too, because it allows people to come to a point of saying, hey, I have need. Yes, do I respond when I feel or anticipate need? Yeah, I probably always will. And that's where this comes in handy. So I love, and I will always love, even in the face of adversity, even in the face of the very behaviors that I abhor in humanity. I love, and it's because I have been blessed to see things from different perspective bases and different angles, and understand where people can be coming from. But enough of that. I don't want to talk about me. There are things on my mind and heavy on my heart, especially because I feel so much of your thoughts and feelings. And collectively of the world and other than human. We've had a heck of a year. And it's not over yet. So hold heart. Don't lose heart. With all the things that we're grasping onto, heart is one we want to hold on to, okay? But some of the other things we're grasping onto because we're afraid of change, it's time to let those things go. It's time to just say, this doesn't meet well, this doesn't serve well, this isn't helping me be my better being. I don't need it. It's probably some residual piece and fragment of old faulty programming or red flags from a wound somewhere in our life, this life or another, that just hangs on. And what we need to do now is really truly take stock. Discern what is and isn't valid, what is and isn't imperative, what is or is not even relative to this life, this time, and this moment in this life. Is it necessary? Is it helping us to move forward, or is it holding us back? Is it hindering our progress? And then along with that, for a lot of us, is the thought processes we have of, am I enough? Or, oh, I'm too much this or too much that. And I'm here to tell you, you're just right. Right down into the very codes of your DNA. You were designed to be exactly who you are. And we need that. We need every little bit. We need all the variety. We need all the different tints and hues and degrees of light or whatever that we all bring to the table in many different ways and aspects of ourselves. I really truly believe that whatever you are at any given moment is exactly what is needed for that moment, or you would be something more. And if you find that the flow isn't happening or that you feel stagnant, taking stock and deciding and seeing what is or isn't relevant for your progress and moving forward with what you're wanting to carry on and really truly releasing. And I think 2020 has been the year of stirring the pot and been the year of collision everywhere, right down to all the divisiveness and unrest among people, especially here in the United States. We've been in quite an uproar politically, socially. And then we have the pandemic that has had the introverts saying, yay, oh good, I don't have to interact with these people now. And the extroverts going, oh no, I'm going to die, I'm isolated. And trying to find that medium ground where we can be creative with how we interact with one another as we navigate and negotiate through these trials, I guess, for lack of a better word. I think it's really important that we just remember who we are and be true to that and honor that. And if we're an introvert, using the internet and things of that nature in a way to continue with interaction, which is what most introverts have already been ahead of the curve on. Maybe they could be teaching some of the socialites, if you will, how to utilize some of these things. And those that were social can, as they're coming up with creative ways to still manage to maintain protocols and still meet that need of socialization, can be teaching some of the introverts how they can do so and maybe helping broaden their scopes without judgment and just loving one another. It's a simple thing. And maybe just really realizing what your gifts and talents are, and where can you be spending some of that time that can be enhancing those and expanding them for the greater good of everybody else. And just in feeding self, because with all the different traumas, we get repeats and replays of fragmented memories, or like I said, some of those pieces and fragments of programming that did not get the memo and leave with the release. So defragging, maybe even unplugging and letting the systems just totally drain of juice so that you can just totally breathe and revamp, revitalize, recharge, and come into what you truly want to be. We don't have to be a product of our circumstances. And I've learned a lot of this firsthand, off and on throughout life, and most specifically during this year. It's always been my goal to want to meet people well. And you can meet them well without beating them on the head and making them sit there with you. and you can meet them well by, whether it's a video chat or a text or just a well thought, and they'll feel that they were held up. I lift you all up, and I will continue to do so, because that's just where I find my happiness. But be your just right, whatever brand that is. I shared an analogy of light bulbs. It's kind of silly, but it works. Where we have Sylvania and GE and different types of bulbs, whether they're the LEDs or some of these newfangled CFUs or whatever they're called. I don't know. I'm not up to all that. But the different types of lighting, and whether it's incandescent, see-through, coated, colored, whatever. Well, if we were to liken ourselves, each and every one of us, as a different type of light, and some of us even have the ability of going from dim all the way up to bright. And some are just always bright, and some are just always dim, and that's how we all are, right? So if we can just be our brand of light, whatever that is, we will be exactly what's needed to meet well the person that's seeking our brand of light. We may have someone down a rabbit hole so far and into the integrals tunnel systems, right? And can't find their way out without that super, super uber bright light. And other people might be blinded by the light, or really sensitive to light and need the dimmer light, the ambiance. Just be your brand. I don't know. We'll leave it at that, but just be your brand of just right. And work toward repairing, whether it be your family life, your home life, your work life, your social life, how we interact with other people. But start by repairing. How do you treat yourself? How are we showing honor and respect for ourselves, and demonstrating to others how we want to be, treated, and how we want to feel? Do we want to slough people off, or do we want to encourage interaction? How we behave projects that. Okay. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but start with self. Because right now, I don't know that any of us is really being truly communicative about what we're thinking, what we're feeling. We're just overwhelmed and astonished, sometimes really in awe or dismay by what we're seeing and feeling and sensing and noticing. So being gentle with ourselves and others is a good place to start with that. And then that helps us with our human interactions. And then as we improve that, then we can improve how we interact with other than humans, whether it be the planets, minerals, the earth, the salt, whatever we're using and taking. And how are we? Are we fair mining or are we stripping? Are we doing harmful practices? Those types of things. And then looking even at how we're treating animals, how we're treating plants. Are we being mindful how we harvest? Or are we just stripping it and not thinking about a way of sustaining that resource? How are we treating the water? Are we being mindful of what is going and leaching into our water? Are we providing enough clean water, safe water for drinking, for cooking, for bathing, for health? I, for one, I live in a country where clean water is a given. Just about anywhere I can get it. And there are places on this planet that there isn't clean water for people to even drink. It's pretty sad, quite frankly, being that our bodies are more than 70% water. It's a vital need. We could live without food. We could breathe artificial air for a bit, but we can't live without good, clean water. So I think that's something, as we're looking at what can we do for the planet and each other, a basic need, water. If you can't physically or financially do something to change that, you can bless the water. And I think probably Thursday. I think Thursday is a good day. Yeah, Thursday. I'm going to do a meditation for water. And any that want to join me on that can sure do so. And we'll do a meditation to bless and sanctify the waters of the earth. I don't know where that pulled out from, but I feel strongly about it. So I will offer that. And anybody that wants to join me, we sure can hold space and do that. I don't know. I just, heart to heart, I think it's time. We really have been, like I said, through the gamut this year. And we've got another year coming. So it's time to just totally shed what doesn't serve well and redirect our energies toward building that space, building our space to be kind, each as individuals and as a race, as a species. Our planet mates are looking to us. We are really, truly the only species that tends to not honor how we're designed and just be. Maybe we should learn from our other planet mates that that's what we were designed to do, and maybe we ought to do. And I didn't mean to come on here and be all preachy. Just things that have been on my mind and my heart, and just knowing how difficult it has been, seeing and feeling and not knowing what to do. So I'm seeing, feeling, and doing. I'm going to do something. And I welcome you all to find your something to do, your something to look at and forward to, and being willing and to shed what holds us back and become just being. So I guess my challenge would be to do some soul searching and taking stock and really discerning for yourself where you want to take the new year, what lessons have been learned, and being open to having a broader perspective base so that we could really truly fully experience and then express as we grow. And, for what all that's worth, I don't know if it made sense or not. I hope it did. I hope it met someone well and administered exactly what they were needing. And if not, it didn't hurt anything. I just said what's already been said before. Because it's all been said before, it's all been done before, it's all been felt before. And we don't need to look any further than right into our skin, our bones, our very DNA for the answers. So be good to yourself, honor yourself, love one another, and be perfectly human. I know I'm doing a bang up job of that. So love to you.